Good morning, everyone. We are in Manassas, Virginia today, working on this beautiful TBM that's behind me. I seem to end up in Manassas about once a year. It's a nice area. I like working here, so that works out well. This TBM is brand new. It actually has that new auto land feature, so if for whatever reason you can't land the plane anymore, you're incapacitated, there's a button. You push the button, it will submit some sort of distress signal, and then it will fully automated land the airplane, even apply the brakes at the end of the runway. So that's really cool. I was hoping it would be dirtier because I really want to do a how to clean your TBM video. It's just dirty enough where I can show you a little bit. It just won't be a very dramatic before and after like you're used to. So let's get to that. After we clean it, we're going to do a paint correction and kind of enhance the paint, remove any swirls and scratches, and then we're going to ceramic coat it so it's going to be easier to wash, and so it'll be protected from that exhaust coming out of here. So let's get to washing first. So I did a little test area up here on the wing just for cleaning. I was just showing the owner how to do this. So this is cleaned, this is not cleaned, which is a pretty dramatic difference. Then down here, this is usually where a lot of exhaust ends up as well. You can kind of see the line right there of what I've cleaned so far. So we're going to use these areas to show you some of the cleaning solutions I have. So these are some of the products I generally use. We have a foamer, we have a sprayer, we have no rinse, and we have Release Ultra. Normally what I would do on a dirtier airplane is take the foamer, knock over the Release Ultra, and this one's only half full, and you put about, it's about a 1 to 20 dilution, roughly. So we would use this as a pre-foam solution to then soak on the stains and really soften up that built up exhaust, then wipe it off. Then we go over it with no rinse at a 1 to 20 dilution to remove the soap residue. Now, because this plane isn't that dirty, what I actually do is I take my 1 to 20 dilution and I put about a, I don't know, like a 1 to 40 dilution of release in here. So that imbibes the no rinse with release cleaning properties without necessarily foaming. Because foaming, it works really well, but it is a little bit messy and it is a little bit wetter method of cleaning. So I'll show you both, and you can decide which one you want to do. Again, if your plane's really dirty, go with this. If you want to have a foam party, go with this. If you just want a quick wash, go with this. And if there's no exhaust and you just want to get dust and bugs off, don't add this to this. So let's see what it looks like. So we're going to focus on cleaning this area here. This is where we get a lot of exhaust typically. And even though this looks pretty clean, I'm going to be hopeful that this is actually dirty, so we can get a before and after on that. And we're going to start with the foamer, so you'll see how well this works, and then you'll see why I like using that new method now, especially when the plane's not that dirty. Kind of adjust this nozzle here. There we go. So that's fun, right? So after we foam, we take like a short pile microfiber towel and just wipe off the foam. Pretty easy. Okay, so we got a good before and after here. Not as easy to tell up here. So again, this airplane was pretty clean to begin with. So then after, since we have soap residue on here, and here as well, you would take no rinse. So this is actually just 1 to 20 no rinse. I didn't add any cleaner to that. So you just spray that on. And you see how that water is just, I don't know if you can even see that, it's just sticking to the surface because it's binding with all that soap. So we just sprayed back, and I'll spray a little bit here where there was exhaust. Then we take more of a drying towel, which is a fluffier towel, and remove the soap residue with that, and then dry it the rest of the way. Now you notice the no rinse didn't really do much to touch the exhaust. If I scrubbed on it for a while, it might take it off, but that's not the point of what we're doing. Okay, so that's using the foam method. So foamed it, wiped the foam off along with all the exhaust, and then went over it with no rinse to get the soap residue off. So this is good to go now. So foaming was fun. It looks really cool. It's a good way to cover a large area very quickly. It'll kind of lift up that exhaust and it'll start dripping down, and the foam will actually pull a lot of that exhaust off. It is messy, however. You start getting foam on the ground, the ground gets wet, and this ground I could probably eat off of, so we try not to make too big of a mess here. So that's where using the release, as a liquid, not as a foam, with some no rinse works really well. So that's what we're gonna do here in the front. So you can see I already cleaned here. We're gonna take that short pile towel again. Generally, if I'm doing dirty cleaning, I like to use a short pile. And we're just gonna spray on the no rinse CSI mixture. Helps to let this sit for a little bit. Short pile towel, and notice this pattern that I'm working. So I just straight lines, a little bit of overlap, straight lines, right? What that does is we get everything, we're not repeating ourselves. If you go like this, you're more likely to create scratches that then end up all over. If for whatever reason you scratch like this, it's just one scratch, it's not gonna be all over. So that's the idea of that. And then same thing, go back over it with your drying towel and dry it up. So we got the same results really. You can see this was done spray, this was done with foam back there. So for the rest of the airplane, just using regular no rinse is fine. That's what this product is here. So this is just plain old no rinse. We can do it, just spray it on. You don't need to get it super wet. Take your microfiber towel and just use that same pattern here. And there you go. If you have some bugs that aren't coming off, you can let it soak a little bit longer. So just spray it on, let those bugs hydrate. Once this is coated especially, those bugs are gonna come off a lot easier. So you shouldn't have to scrub. Scrubbing's bad, it's gonna cause scratches. The other product that I usually give to my clients is G-Technic's Citrus Cleaner, which is a bit stronger cleaner. At a 1 to 10 dilution, that does a really good job of melting off bugs that may have dried on there for a really long time. It also works well for heavy exhaust if you don't have the Release Ultra quite yet. So that product, I recommend you spray onto a towel and then clean with that towel instead of spraying it all over. Kind of helps keep everything cleaner too. I don't like having wet floors. So I'm gonna clean the plane, clean the rest of it, just using the Release no rinse for the dirty parts, using plain no rinse for the rest of it, and then we'll touch base when I'm ready to start polishing. So to get rid of the potential streaking that is left behind afterwards, especially if you're working a big section and your no rinse is evaporating before you can get it all off, or your towel's not 100% drying, no big deal. We got this product called C2. It's technically a sealant. I like to use it as a drying aid. If your plane isn't coated, then yeah, it's a great sealant. If your car's not coated, great sealant. For a coated plane, the coating is actually going to repel the sealant, but it'll leave behind just like a teensy bit of sealant, and more importantly, it removes any surface residue from the no-rinse or the soap. So that's kind of what I like to use it for. Short pile microfiber towel, C2. So you don't want it on straight stream. That's a lot of product. There, now it's misting. So just like that much, that little bit of mist of C2 is plenty. If you're wiping it on and you see like liquid coming off, you're putting on too much. That's kind of against the point of what we're trying to do, right? So you can kind of buff off any kind of residue you may have left behind, and as you do, it just leaves behind a nice slick surface. So another common question is, can you use this stuff on the windows? Great question, glad you asked. So the windows on this plane are acrylic. Sometimes a front window might be glass as well. Side windows certainly are always acrylic. So being that's a type of plastic, it's actually very soft and it's very prone to scratching. So you want to make sure, especially on the windows, you know, if you have bugs, you don't want to be scrubbing on there. Don't use paper towels. Please do not use paper towels on these. Use a nice, fluffy, clean microfiber towel. So at its core, no-rinse is water and polymers that add lubricity. So they're going to stick to the surface. They're going to stick to whatever else is on there and kind of surround them. So that's how it cleans. For the windows, no different. Spray some on. And if you have any bugs, let that sit first. The only thing we're going to do differently here, instead of kind of doing that left-right deal that we were doing, we're just going to go up and down. So we're going to go kind of with the direction of the wind. Feel like your towel's getting dirty, just flip it to a clean side. And that's it. So again, let the no-rinse do its job. If it needs to soak, let it soak. Don't scrub. If you do this, there's still bugs left behind, just let the bugs hydrate a little bit longer. You know, don't go like this. Don't clean like this, because you're gonna get scratches in all shapes. And please do not use paper towels. Use quality microfiber products. Thank you. All right, back to work. So I gotta admit, I'm really digging to find a lot of paint defects on this airplane because it's in such good shape. But I did find some. To really show what the paint correction does, let me turn this off. I'm going to tape a little line so you can see a clear before and after. I spotted a few sanding marks on the wing, so when we get to the wing, I will be super excited to share that with you. But overall, this plane is in really good shape. It hasn't been washed very much, and washing is usually where a lot of those swirls and scratches come from. In the times that it has been washed, it's been washed safely, so makes a big difference. Let's get some tape. So the wing root here, this is where a lot of exhaust ends up, so this is where it gets washed the most, and that's why we're gonna do our little test spot up here. Okay, so starting off, here's before, here's after. So you see how the light is reflecting a lot cleaner. So that's what paint correction does. A second effect, which I don't think this little camera is going to pick up. So this white stripe, if I'm looking at that from here, Yeah, you can't really see it. It's actually a little bit brighter white. There's been just enough staining in the little bit of time this has had where there's a bit of a yellow tinge on that side that you can't see on this side. So despite cleaning everything, it's not uncommon. If we look at the polishing pad, you know, this does slowly turn a little bit of a dark color. This is pulling out more contamination out of the paint that's embedded in the paint, right? So this is actually a very thorough cleaning too, and frequently I have to clean these polishing pads, and that's what this bucket's for. That's all the kind of spent polish residue and whatever contamination it pulls out of the paint. So yeah, I just wanted to show you what paint correction is doing. I gotta admit, Daher did a really nice job on this airplane. I'm not seeing a lot for buffing marks, I'm not seeing a lot for sanding marks, so well done, guys, well done. So normally I would coat the airplane after polishing the fuselage. I've been polishing the whole airplane first actually now, and then coating it. Just seems to work a little bit better flow wise. So again, polishing the underside, always a good time. After everything gets polished, we do a panel wipe step. What the panel wipe step does is it removes any polishing oils or any other surface contamination before coating, so we can make sure that surface is clean. Then we wipe the coating on. I always feel around to make sure that the area I'm working hasn't been coated already. You can feel what parts are coated and not coated because the coating makes it so much slicker. So now that this plane is polished to a high shine, it is protected, it is ready to start its service life. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.